Hello everyone. We are going to start at 1 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Gaining Ground webinar series. My name is Shahadat Hussain. I'm a graduate student at Kansas State University. So this webinar series provides agriculture educators with tools and skills to better support urban food system enterprises. And the topics usually will focus on problems or skills that support UFS enterprises and programs. This webinar series is funded by North Central Share PDP under project title Capacity Building in Urban Food System in the North Central region and delivering professional development and networking opportunities for urban agriculture professionals in the same region. Like if you are with the urban food system graduate student cohort are organizes this webinar. And today our topic is the forcing community on urban farms. And we have Anthony Nealy, the co-founder of Global Urban Farming, as a guest today. And Global One has been working to produce uh, healthy produce to the community. And Anthony, with his wife and business partner, have been trying to educate them about healthy food habits. And over the years, they have developed many programs for the people who face food insecurity. And they're trying to grow a community around the food, particularly within the urban area. So before going to Anthony, I'll request everyone to use the question answer box and if you have any question to Anthony. So thank you, Anthony, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. Anthony, you can start, share your experience with us.
You're welcome. Yeah. Was that question for me? I'm sorry.
I said you can start.
Oh, okay. So am I taking questions now? You just want me to discuss global and urban farming? What was your question? Oh, I see the photos. Can you hear me? Am I still on mic?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
I can hear you, Anthony.
Oh, okay, great. I see you showing some of the photos of the kids, some of the volunteers and kids we have sharing, coming out and volunteering. But yeah, we've been established here since 2016, and we're one of the largest Black-owned community gardens in Kansas City, Missouri. We have an acre and a half, the commercial greenhouse that we grow on here, and we produce our own vegetables and plants. We grow all year round, and our whole purpose, one of our purposes, is to help combat food insecurity in the neighborhoods here in the urban core. For instance, where our acre and a half is at, there was a grocery store that was there for 50 years, closed up. No other store has been there since. So last 10 years, they've been put on the USDA defined food insecurity. So we're directly in the middle of the city of Kansas City. We're at Midtown at 44th and Cypress. And we produce vegetables and distribute them free to help raise health levels in the urban core to help combat food insecurity. And we also teach people and communities how to take their unused land and convert it into sustainable organic gardens. And so this is what we do. My wife and our co-founders, we have a passion for this. We love growing. When we first got married, we started our home garden, and then we ended up putting a garden in our neighbor's yard, and then we started putting a garden as a gift at our local church back in 2010. And we were advised that we should start a nonprofit, so we did. We have some great board members now. We have some great volunteer organizations. We partner with the ProX program, so we have high school seniors that my wife supervises over. They come out every summer and work and get stipend checks as interns while they come and learn how to do urban farming. And we have some great volunteer entities that help us, such as Rockhurst University, UMKC, the Apple Store at the Plaza. We have now also the Occupational Therapy Association, Nurses Association. And so that helps make it easier because we're in a larger volume now. So we needed more help every year, and we've gotten it. So now we're working on capacity building. We're growing on a full acre and a half in the middle of the city. And so, that's basically where we at. We're going into the fall season now. We do grow all year round. So we do grow our leafy stuff through the wintertime in our greenhouse, your spinach, arugula, Swiss chard, bok choy, mustard greens. We do a wide variety of vegetables that we grow. We do our own garlic and onions and heirloom tomatoes through the summer, and a lot of green beans. And we distribute them free, to help folks, the working class people that like now. This is the last week of the month. The last 2 weeks of the month are the worst for working class people because they've ran out of food. They're waiting on the check the first of the month. They've got to work 2 weeks, and they're not making enough money because of inflation. So it's the working class that come get a lot of the vegetables. It's not homeless people. This is people that work every day and have careers and stuff that still, because of inflation, they run out of vegetables and stuff for their family and produce. And so that we really love helping doing that, and people really need it. And so that's where we're at. Yeah, you're looking at some of the volunteers there that came out. We have high schools that come out. Boys and Girls Club actually comes out, and let's see here. Oh yeah, and the youth corps. That's the youth corps right there on that picture. Are there any other questions? Anything else you need me to answer? That's inside of our greenhouse. Our greenhouse is 20 by 50, and like I said, we grow all year round. Yeah, you got a question?
Yes, Anthony, we plan to ask you the question after your presentation.
Okay.
So we plan to ask you the question after your presentation.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're still looking at pictures inside of our greenhouse before and after. Once we started on the left side, and we've got things still growing in there: hot peppers, bell peppers, thing of that nature. And so let's see what the next picture is. Are you able to go to the next picture? Oh, there we are. Yeah, there we're planting native flowers there, native plants, and we have 2 areas where we grow native plants here in Kansas City, Missouri, at our community garden, and it helps with the pollination, and it attracts your bees and your butterflies and your pollinators. It helps produce your vegetables more. So we also have that on the property, a couple of native plants, garden areas. And oh boy, here is the school, one of the schools we first started at once we learned how to germinate plants before we got our greenhouse. That is our son. I didn't know this picture was on here on the left with some plants that we were germinating on the table at the school that he went to, which was the African Center, AC Prep School, Dr. Pope here in Kansas City, Missouri, out by Swope Park. And they have a greenhouse attached to their elementary school. And they offered it to us and allowed us to come in there and start producing our plants in the climate control greenhouse. Those are the kids on the right come in and help, and we taught them how to germinate, how to transplant, and that's at one of the elementary schools we taught at. That was in 2013, 2018.
Anthony, we have some question for you already. So one people ask that how do you recruit high school students to work on the farm during the summer?
Say that
And
again.
how do you recruit high school students to work on the farm during the summer?
I, I didn't understand it. Can you say that once again? Sorry.
I said, how do you recruit high school students to work on the farm during the summer?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're actually affiliated with the ProX program here. And we get a chance to go down to the convention for the ProX kids and interview them. And they come to the convention center with their resume and they pick and choose where would they like to work at and what field would they like to learn in. And so we get the recruits. We partner with the ProX program, with actually has the high school students, and they get referred, and the high school students get to pick what kind of business they like to work in, and that's how we get our youth in the summertime.
And what type of activities do they participate in?
Well, we teach residents and high school students how to produce vegetables from seed to harvest. So we teach the germination process, how to take care of them through the growth process in the greenhouse, and transplanting them into a grow area, either outside or in the greenhouse. So we teach them that, and we also teach them sustainability. We teach them composting and the importance of composting. We teach them organic growing. We don't use any chemicals. We do all organic growth in our soils, and so that's basically it. We teach how to grow from seed to harvest. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Anthony, it seems like your farm has strong ties to the neighborhood. So can you share a little more about how you develop a sense of community to the farm?
Well, we purchase our land through Kansas City Hall through their land bank and the acre and a half. And when you start a development of any kind, you actually have to get the approval of the neighborhood association that your property is in, that you're going to develop on. So we have to sit down. We're affiliated with two neighborhood associations that we grow in, which is the South Round Top Neighborhood Association and the Vineyard Neighborhood Association. So we got approval from Vineyard Association to take, once we purchased the land that we were going to develop it into a community garden, and got the approval and vote on it. And so we deal directly with the neighborhood association. We deal directly with City Hall. We deal directly with some of the other departments of City Hall, neighborhood development, and Center for Neighborhood that deals with all the whole vast different districts here in Kansas City, Missouri, and we're in the 3rd district actually, and the 3rd district abroad. And so yeah, we deal directly with the neighborhood programs.
Okay. Are there any new partnership that you are working on, or you are working in a new project that you are excited about?
Well, hopefully it's this one with you, with K-State. you know, we're our whole thing is we need help with finance. That's usually the main issue for any nonprofit, is having finance to be stable for our annually income. So our annually budget for our projects and our annual operational budget. So, you know, hopefully we can work with you all and can come up with a way that you can offer some type of fundraiser or anything for the nonprofit. And that's basically our only issue. We have we're doing pretty great far as functioning. We just need some more financial support.
Okay. Are there any vegetables or any produce that you grow and people are most excited to work on it or participate with?
Say that again.
So
What was your question?
are there any vegetables that you grow that people get the most excited to participate with?
Well, I mean, like now, of course, it's your leafy vegetables. Once you start getting into the fall, people love their mustard greens and the spinach and the Swiss chard. They look for that this time of year. But so, of course, summertime, we grow a lot of heirloom tomatoes. We do a lot of hot peppers, a lot of green beans. People love green beans. And so we do stuff that kind of have large volume to their production because we give a lot of stuff away. So people love the green beans. They love our heirloom tomatoes and peppers, and they love our leafy vegetables. Like I said, like your Swiss chard, your mustard greens, and bok choy, and arugula, and so yeah, we grow all of that, sir. We produce all of
How did you initially recruit the shareholders? And what do you do to maintain funding?
that. You said how you say that again?
How did you initially recruit the shareholders of your firm?
Well, you can, I mean, it's so competitive until we can get private funders. I mean, you just do competitive grants. I mean, we do our in-house, we write our own grants in-house, and that's all you can do is write a grant and hope you get the grant funding. So, when you're in that category of just doing competitive grants, you really, you don't know which one you're going to get approved. So you don't have a concrete upfront uh, first or second quarter of next year, for instance, you don't exactly know what funding is going to be secured for the first or second quarter of the following year. I mean, you just, until you get a consistent funder, or until we can get consistent funding from private funders, then we're always trying to get our operating capital together and put grants in and hoping and praying that we receive the grants, the grant award. So.
Okay, great. Um, One interesting question. What is your favorite variety of heirloom tomatoes you have grown?
Well, we started out doing a lot of tomatoes. What happened when I got married, I relocated here from Detroit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I relocated here in 2005. And then I came back in 2008 and married my wife. She's from Kansas. And found out she loved the garden when we first got married. And so I looked in the backyard where we were at. She had a little spot made out with her tomato plants, a little garden area. And we never discussed it because we only dated a couple of years, but I just never talked about gardening. But I was raised in a garden in Detroit. My mother and sister, my mother was a 50-year nurse, and my sister worked for the city of Detroit almost 20 years. But coming up in the 70s and the 80s, I was the only son, and we had a pretty large garden, almost a second lot added to our home. And I was the only son, so I had to do all the work starting about 10 years old. I had to learn how to turn dirt with a shovel and hoe and clean out grass and plant and make a straight line to plant stuff and water it. And I was the only son, so I did all the work. So they put that in me. And when I got married, I told my wife, I said, I know how to garden. I'll put your garden in when we find another house. She was like, really? I said, yeah. So we got married and found this house 2010 and started to put our garden in, and we haven't stopped since. And so now we're full time with our nonprofit. My wife, she came out of Ford Motor Company, and she did like she was a licensed massage therapist for almost 20 years. And now we're full time for our nonprofit. So we both retired, but we run our nonprofit 501c3 now, which is Global One Urban Farming. And it's just when you have a passion for something, it's not work. So that's why if you start a nonprofit, it should be something that you love to do anyway. And it won't be hard to. You won't feel like you're working every day, or you're still working 7 days a week. Because we grow and deal with plants and vegetables and stuff 7 days a week, but it's not work because you love to do it. If I didn't have a nonprofit, I would be gardening. So it doesn't really affect you when you have a passion for something. And so that's what we do full time now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So another question is, what has been the biggest hurdle to recruiting and retaining volunteers?
Well, that's not hard. People really like helping, and there's a lot of volunteer organizations out there. And once we started requesting, there's not an issue with that. And like I said, the main thing we need to do is find more funding. So everything else is pretty easy, but you can't run a business properly without the right finances. All of the talk is good, all of the or what you love to do and all that, but you got to pay bills. You got to pay 10,000 to get trees removed. You got to spend 12,000 to fence in an acre. You have to spend 8,000 to get a water extension put in. You have to spend 12 or 25,000 to build a storage shed with refrigeration room. So it takes money. It's more than just smiling talking about it. You have to have funding. So that's the hardest part for an urban nonprofit for us, is to get adequate funding.
Okay, but when you are working with different volunteer groups, are there different project for different age groups?
Say that again.
So when you work with volunteer groups, so are there different projects for different age groups? So like for the high school people or for the adult people, do you have different projects?
Yeah, it's different projects, definitely, and so it depends on what we're doing and what's available. But yeah, it varies for the high school students and what they're able to do according to adults. So yeah, but it all works out.
Okay. Um, Anthony, you are so passionate about your job. So what is your favorite part of your job actually?
Ah, man. I get to grow and remember my mother and my sister, because I told my wife, I said it just keeps me in their spirit, because they kept me in the garden, man. I was 9, 10, on through my teenage life and 20s, man. I always made sure their garden was right, man, and kept it clean and watered, and they both passed, man. And so I get to keep that, I get to feel that spirit, man, of my mother, man, and my sister, man, because they didn't want to put this in me, gardening. So that's and I get to help people. My mom always gave vegetables out to our family members and neighbors, and so I get to continue that, man, and get that spirit, man. So it's a great thing, man.
And what advice would you give to someone who is looking to build local partnership with schools?
Well, really, all you have to do is either approach, because you really have to get approval from the principal. So approach the principal's office, whoever their assistant is, and present your project, and then they'll set up a meeting and go from there. So yeah. Once you just present it to the principal's office and let them know what you want to do, and then you go from there.
And what are some tips that you would like to share with other urban farmers onto building community for their farm?
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand. So, once you start growing vegetables in the garden and bringing in the community, I mean, it just you just get a relationship with so many people that you didn't know was there. Just in a 5-block radius. You might have the 200 families. It's 50 homes on every urban block, so you go 2 or 3 blocks and deal with people, you're dealing with 200 households with 4 people in each household, and you're looking at, that's 700 people that you're touching just from that. And the part of the agriculture, is always needed, so you're never going to run out of you're not going to run out of style when it comes to producing vegetables and offering produce to people, because there's so many people in need. So this is never going out of style. It's needed Sunday through Sunday, 7 days a week. People need free vegetables because they don't have enough money. Their income don't pay enough, and their household, they can't go buy some fresh carrots and some fresh yellow orange bell peppers this week or next week, or some garlic and some green beans and some bok choy. They can't even afford it. So, they go to eating less healthier, which is something cheaper, 2 for $1, and 3 cans, 4 cans for $1 instead of eating healthy. So, and that leads into bad health, man. So, unfortunately, that goes with not having enough money. A lot of people start eating, them and their kids start eating less healthier food because they can't afford it. So this will never go out of style. So, you got something you offer to the public, it's always needed. So
But do you often collaborate with other urban farmers?
oh, definitely. Yeah. We know all of them. We've met all of them. We work with some of them. and we volunteer at their garden sites. They come and volunteer at our garden sites. So yeah, it's definitely a communication between the nonprofits and the urban farmers, definitely.
So Anthony, starting up with a farm is definitely a costly endeavor, right? So
Say that
what
again.
grant? Yeah. So what grants have you found the most success in? Uh, how do you start with the farm, and what kind of grant you have or had
Oh,
in the first years?
yeah, sure. We actually look for our land through land bank,
Mhm.
and end up finding. Fortunately, we found a half a block that was available. It was like the first was 5 addresses, a vacant lot that was available with trees and had been dumped on and been vacant probably 20 years, right here in the urban core. And being a nonprofit, then you're able to purchase land and you might get a discount on the land because you're a nonprofit is registered. You won't have to pay any taxes on the land. So being a nonprofit is advised to register. If you're a for-profit, that's fine, but for tax purposes, it's best to register a nonprofit and also to be able to retrieve grant money. So we started out just putting in applications, man. Your grant applications. You purchase your land and secure your deeds, and make sure you get cleared with the neighborhood association that you're in for whatever you're about to build or whatever you're about to put on that land, and let them know what you're doing, and they'll approve it. And I mean, from there you just get to turning over dirt and planting and watering. I mean, and filling out grant applications. So, hopefully you can find someone that has experience writing grants, because we didn't have experience at first, and we ended up paying someone, a grant writer. He was well, we paid a few grant writers through the years, and you learn eventually. The more you do it, it's like anything else. The more you exercise reading them and answering the questions, you'll learn, better way. But it's best to have somebody that's got 20 years experience or greater writing grants to help teach you. And then that's all you can do. You can submit your grants and do fundraisers. And we do fundraisers 3 times a year now. Outdoor jazz concert, Kansas City Jazz in the Garden, and we offer that as a fundraiser for Global and Urban Farm. And money helps go to help the nonprofit. And so that's you trying to obtain as much money as you can for your operating capital and your budgets to produce, and you just keep moving forward.
Okay. I have a question. Have you received funding from USDA's Urban Agriculture and Innovation Production Grants?
Yeah, we have gotten funding. We do have a relationship with urban agriculture, grant funding, and we're looking forward to keeping a relationship with them. And we're going into 2025 now. This is the last quarter of the year, so we're going into 2025. But yes, we have gotten funding, and with UA, with urban agriculture, with the government agriculture department, urban ag, yeah.
There's an interesting question. How did you judge in the garden even get started?
Say that again.
How did you judge in the garden event get started?
How did my jag?
Yeah. So, what kind of event do you have in the garden usually?
What kind of what?
What kind of event?
Oh, event. Oh,
Yeah.
Kansas City Jazz in the Garden event.
Yes.
That is a outdoor jazz concert where we raise money through ticket sales. We affiliated with local barbecue restaurants such as Q39, Jack Stack Restaurant, and we offer chair massages outside, $2 a minute chair massages, and it's a fundraiser. Because when you have a nonprofit, you write grants and you can sell things, but they also want you to have create other ways to create revenue. So in fundraisers, you create a fundraiser where you can offer something that they can pay for, to help raise funds. So for us, it's Kansas City Jazz in the Garden, and we have City Hall supports us, which is The neighborhood tourist department, they support us. This is our second year. We'll be going into our third year doing our outdoor jazz concert. We do about 3 or 4 of them a year, fundraisers, and that's Kansas City Jazz in the Garden. We do that at the garden site, and
A-
uh, and so
And do you see that expanding that in the future?
say that again.
Do you see that expanding this event in the future?
Oh, definitely, yeah. We're looking at going into a jazz fest. We can expand to for a larger crowd. So we're going to continue this, and even at whatever level we stay at or that we grow to, we still this is something we love to do. It's still something nice for the community to come out. We also do our appreciation day on those fundraiser days. So our volunteers and funders that have helped us that year, we have them come out and enjoy the event. And so we'll do these regardless because, like I said, it helps us show our appreciation and have fun with the volunteers and some of the grant funders that we have. Mm-hmm.
Anthony, when you started the farm, or even now, do you have any issues with cities or neighborhood association about regulatory
Say
codes
that
or
again.
compliance?
Say that again.
So, do you have any issues with code compliance with the city or neighborhood association?
No compliance, but we did have to have land bank, they come out and the city or the county will come out and confirm that you are up to code. And they do give you a confirmation for being in good standing with them. And but we really haven't had any issues with them. We've been there at the acre and a half. Oh man, almost like 8 or 9 years now, just under 10 years. But no, we don't have any problems with them.
And are you concerned personally about environment sustainability aspects regarding your farm?
Well, we actually have been blessed. Like I said, we're affiliated now and have the support of the Missouri Department of Conservation and Department of Agriculture. They come out and do soil testing. Missouri Conservation comes out and look at the trees and the area of conservation that we have in an acre and a half and determine what trees are good, what trees are bad, what's good for the soil, what's bad for the soil, what's dangerous and what's not. And so it really helps. That helps us as well too, having a partnership with, like I said, Missouri Department of Conservation.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and EPA. Yeah, the EPA comes out and makes sure it does our soil and stuff. Mm-hmm.
So are all your veggies grown in a high tunnels or some veggies grown outside the high tunnel?
We grow on almost a full acre, and the greenhouse is 20 by 50. So that's more. We germinate in there mostly, and we grow through the summer. But we can start our plants in there early and germinate in the early winter, February, March, and but then we grow through the rest of the summer and the winter in the greenhouse. But we grow from spring until first frost outside on the acre. So.
Okay, so there's another question about volunteer. So do you have groups that volunteer on a regular basis, or is it usually a one-time event?
No, on a regular basis. Yeah, we're going into our third year having volunteer services that repeat and come out a few times a year and once a month. And anytime that we have any projects coming up, they just have us submit the project and request the volunteers. And so, yeah, we got blessed. We have a continuous support now from volunteer programs, so it really helps out.
Um, so Anthony, how do you manage soil manage? How do you manage the soil, and how do you manage the weeds? Uh, so did you have to do any soil remediation to deal with the contaminants?
Well, we did at the beginning. I mean, like I said, we've been almost 10 years, so we have we have nourished our soil over the years to where we're in pretty good shape now, and we have good organic soil. And you can use cover crops. We do all organic fertilizing with your cow manure, chicken manure, and basic composting. And as you grow each year, the soil actually gets better. It doesn't get worse unless you're putting contaminants in it. But when you're only putting organic in it, the soil builds up every year and gets better anyway. So yeah, we're at a good place now with our soil.
So how many people do you reach every year when providing food basket?
Oh man, we're looking at wow. We're looking at least a couple of thousand people. You're talking man, you're talking in just in the Vineyard Neighborhood Association, we're in the zip code 64128 and 64130. And so it can vary anywhere from 500 people to 4,000 people over a period of time because there's so many families in the zip codes that we're in, the neighborhood associations that we in, which is, like I said, the Vineyard Neighborhood Association, which is in Midtown, and then the South Round Top. So it varies. We never have enough. Uh, uh, Pro and give away vegetables. We get vegetables donated to us from other farms, and we work with the harvester program. And no matter how much you have, it's never enough. It's going to always be gone. That's how much need it is. That's how much demand it is. So you don't have enough. It's not, you don't have nothing to throw away or wasteful. Nothing's going to be wasted. There's people that needs it. So yeah.
So what was I'm curious. So what was the number when you just first started?
Say that again.
What was the number when you first started? So how many people have you reached when you first started?
Oh, you're talking just a few, 20, 30 people, 50 people, and family members until we started doing a larger garden there. And then now we're dealing with community neighborhood associations and community organizations. So it's grown over these last 10 years. Definitely.
And so how do you decide who gets the produce?
Well, there's no, I mean, it's first come, first serve, like any other free program, like your pantries and anyone else getting anything in room, you come in and you're able to get something until the produce are gone, until it's gone. Yeah.
Uh, Anthony, so few people got food stamp from the government. So do you consider that who is getting food stamp from the government when you are giving your food basket?
Well, we actually got approved to take EBT. So on the days that we do have vegetables for sale, people are allowed to use their EBT card, and they get more for their money. You make sure we give them double for their money for the EBT food stamps. So yeah, we actually accept EBT as well too.
Um, Anthony, do you have to faces the problem with spotted lantern flies?
Say that again.
The spotted lantern flies. It has been posing a threat to our fruit trees in the Midwest.
No, we haven't had an issue with them.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, how has the addition of the high tunnel impacted your programs you provide?
Well, it allows you to grow all year round. I mean, you're able to have a controlled climate in your greenhouse. So, we grow through the winter and grow through the summer months as well. But being able to grow all year through fall and winter gives us all year round annual production. So we're always growing something. When you have a greenhouse, you're able to continue to grow all year round. So.
Anthony, what was the process of getting approved for the EBT lab?
Application, our nonprofit, your business, you fill out an application through the state for the EBT to be able to accept EBT. It's just an application that you apply for it.
Okay. Anthony, so if anyone wants to start a urban farm, how do they start planning?
Well, I mean, if you're just doing it because you want to grow, I mean, anywhere you have some land, you can start clearing it and growing. It's not hard to do once you clear it, clean it, and get the grass and stuff out. You get you some cow manure and get whatever plants and seeds you want to grow. As long as you can water it, you can grow. But then if you want to go into a larger scenario, then you need to start your nonprofit, register a nonprofit and get your board members and your mission statement and your first budget and your purpose. And you have to fill out an application through the IRS to get your 501c3 nonprofit status. So, you know, if you want to go on a larger scale, you should register a company as a 501c3 nonprofit.
We have another question. What is your pest management?
Say that again.
What is your pest management? What is your pest management? Pest.
What is my case management?
Pest management.
I don't understand.
It's pest. I mean, it means the soil and everything, which helps to grow the produce.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, you can use cover crops. And like I said, we just grow with organic fertilizers, which is like your cow manure, chicken manure, basically. And we use composting, cow manure, chicken manure, a lot of germination, organic germination soil. And that's basically it.
So how do you determine what jobs are appropriate for volunteer groups? Are there some jobs you keep for most experienced volunteers?
Well, I mean, we've built compost boxes. We've had to. I mean, we have to move a lot of soil in the summer. We put up fencing and I mean, it's just basic gardening stuff. Urban farm. It's just basic.
Okay, Anthony, do you use any energy saving methods to greenhouse control?
Well, we do collect our own water, and we will be adding our solar next year, and that's basically it. I mean, we've done hydroponics, and we'll probably end up building a building for that for the hydroponics, a separate building for that. But yeah, we grow in the greenhouse and just use the basic environment, heating, cooling, and we've got water there, and that's basically it.
Um, the uh, can you are you using water management practices, or what are your water sources?
We collect our water, and we added water to the. We got water put in there because there was no water or electricity on the acre. So we have a pressurized hydrant for water, and then we also collect rainwater.
Okay. And since you have an organic garden, so what do you use instead of pesticide?
Actually, we have certain plants you can use. We actually have had critters and stuff we have to get rid of. You still have issues with groundhog, raccoons, deers. So you have to fence it in. A lot of times raccoons and stuff have to be caught. Groundhogs have to be caught, which Missouri Department of Conservation, they handle that side of that. And if you do have poisonous stuff on the land, you do have to get rid of it. You do have to remove it and clear it, and poison ivy, anything of that nature, or any viney weeds and stuff that are not healthy for the soil. You just have to you have to remove them.
Anthony, we have one more question for you.
Uh-huh.
What goals do you have for Global One in the next 5 years?
Actually, we are going to expand. We were suggested that by the city hall downtown, that our model at our acre and a half should be in every neighborhood. So we're going to try and expand and put an acre global urban farm, acre community garden in each neighborhood association. here in Kansas City, Missouri, and we're going to also build a larger storage for refrigeration, and what was a few other things we were going to do? Just basically getting more capacity, because like now, I mean, you wouldn't think you'd run out of room quick, but you know, you can have an acre and start growing on it and run out of room. You know, you grow so much, you put this here, you put it there. So, you know, we're going to keep expanding, trying to obtain some more land here in Kansas City, Missouri, so we can expand our program. And we have also decided to request funding. We want to build some one-level, two-bedroom senior apartments or senior duplex homes for veterans and seniors at the community garden site, so they have access to the vegetables and able to participate with the community garden right there at their property. So we're gonna build some housing units. We're in the process of looking at that in 2025. So.
Okay, best of luck, Anthony. And
Okay.
and thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you everyone for joining this webinar. I would request everyone to fill out the short survey to help us develop future webinars.
Sure, will do, man. Okay, I appreciate you.
Thank you everyone once again.
Thank you, Anthony.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.